defunding the police, it obviously means different things to different people. The Associated Press reporting supporters of the movement insist their demand is not about stripping agencies of all their funding, and, quote, they say it is time for the country to address systemic problems in policing in America and spend more on what communities across the U.S. need, like housing and education. There is one recent big city example of a police department getting stripped down and rebuilt from the ground up. Camden, New Jersey, just across the river from Philadelphia, routinely referred to as America's poorest city. In 2013, the entire Camden Police Department was disbanded. Back then, we took a great interest in the new chief there, Scott Thompson. He and I spent hours together talking and riding and meeting people as he made the switch to community policing and de-escalation. During one ride through the city, he told me if police can build relationships with the people they protect, quote, anything is possible. For more, we're so happy to welcome to the broadcast Scott Thompson, former police chief for Camden County, New Jersey, where we add police headquarters now bears his name. Chief, it's great to see you. And as you know, as a Jersey guy, I've always viewed Camden and its history with a mix of pride and sadness, just like everybody, I think. Riding around with you, I remember the corner store, I remember the parish priest, I remember the young single mom and her son. All were stops on your route. So cast modesty aside, tell our audience, how bad was it when you got there, and what were the improvements by the time you left?
Well, Brian, when you were with us in 2012, it was arguably the darkest hour in the history of the city. We had a murder rate that was 18 times the national average, violent crime rates that were exceeding that of third world countries, and we had very high levels of mistrust from the community to its police. And it was in 2012 going into 2013 that we essentially the entire organization was fired, including myself, and we all reapplied and started anew. And the key for us in creating the new organization was to have a department that realized it could not arrest its way into a safer community. That the only way we were going to make that city better was to do something different. And that was we were going to reclaim neighborhoods from the violent drug gang leaders who operated with a sense of impunity by empowering the people. And that's essentially what we did. We deprioritized arrest for minor offenses. We told cops to stop writing tickets. We put them on corners. We put them riding bikes. And essentially what we did was we had moments of interaction with people in the public that were not predicated upon enforcement or moments of crisis. And by having those interactions, by having that communication, the people got to learn who the police were, and probably just as important, the police got to learn who the people were. The people started to leave their homes. When you drove the streets with us, if you recall, very few people were ever sitting on their front steps. You didn't see little kids riding their bikes on the street. And the dynamic of the neighborhoods in Camden has significantly changed. We had 175 open-air drug markets within 9 square miles. Let me say that again, 175 drug markets in 9 square miles. Today we have less than 20. And we did this by empowering the people of the community, not by militarizing the corners.
You diminished 2 policing staples. Both of them happen to have the word down in the title. The takedown, pulling over cars based on a whiff of suspicion, and the pat down. We all know what that is, and both can be less than subtle forms over time of harassment. And yet you managed to police your community with less of an emphasis on those 2 things especially.
Yeah, well, you know, that doesn't equate to safer neighborhoods. And really the definition of insanity, Brian, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We changed the metrics by which officers were judged. In fact, in our organization, we actually investigate our top 5 ticket writers every month, because that is not a priority for us. In cities that are extremely challenged, like Camden, our per capita income is less than $13,000 a year. So a cop handing a $250 ticket to a single mom that's working 2 jobs can be life-altering. And, the people in these really challenged communities, what they want is a police force that will treat them with respect, dignity, and put the full weight of law enforcement in a laser-like focus on the people who are negatively defining everybody's life. What the people of communities become extremely upset with is when the police don't seem to know who those individuals are, and they apply broad brush applications of enforcement and just essentially re-victimize all the people that live in the neighborhood. And it's extremely frustrating for them. It's polarizing. And then something significant like a shooting or a murder occur, and we would go into the neighborhood and we would ask them to help us to cooperate, to tell us who did the shooting. And we would wonder why people wouldn't want to talk to us. In 2012, when you were with us, Brian, our solve rate in homicides was 16%. In 2 years, we took that up to 61%. And we weren't doing anything different. It was that we had the people in the community who were finally talking to us. We started to build levels of trust, and we became better at our job because we were better informed.
The man whose name is now out on the front of police headquarters, former Camden Police Chief Scott Thompson. Chief, great to see you again. Thank you very much for coming on our broadcast to talk about the work you did there. Coming up for us tonight, the mayor